And welcome back to the Tuned In podcast.
Let's go,
baby.
boys.
How we feeling?
Oh, man, we're back. You're a married man now.
I know, we took a little break. I got married. Did. It's been a good May. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been a good month. It's getting hot out here in Utah.
Surely.
But it's been nice. Nice to get the sun out and get outside.
Feels like now, just with the way the global warming or just the Utah weather is.
Yeah.
It's just straight from winter to summer.
That's right, pretty much.
So we'll take summer, I guess.
Yeah, it feels like we've had a ton of wildfires, so hopefully those slow down a little here. Get some moisture, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. But we've had a lot of good basketball happening too.
Oh yeah, NBA playoffs have been really exciting. We actually have a really exciting episode today. We're going to talk about obviously the draft. We want to talk a lot about the playoffs, the finals, how things are going. And then we just got all sorts of sports teeing up right now. World Cup, Stanley Cup is heating up right now. We'll get into all that in today's episode.
Make sure to follow us on all the podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Wherever you can find a podcast, we'll be there. Look up Tuned In, Utah Jazz Podcast. Make sure to check out our last couple episodes, especially as the Jazz prepare for their number 2 pick. We've talked a lot about getting the number 2 pick, what we expect in the draft, and you'll hear more of that today as well.
And this is episode 105 of Tuned In Jazz.
Well, there's not been a lot of Jazz news since we found out we got the 2nd pick in the draft.
Not much.
But I think that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so. I saw an interview the other day. I saw Austin Ainge was saying that within the Jazz organization there been some heavy debates, which I think is good news. We're taking the pick seriously, so I think no news is good news at this point. We're not deciding too early.
Yeah, and it's like last year, we benefited a lot from not showing your hands.
Yeah.
Got Ace Bailey because teams had no idea who we were going to pick.
Yep.
So I think that's a good sign.
Yeah, totally.
Worked out last year, so hopefully it'll do that this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I guess just from last episode, I think we both agreed that Darren Peterson would be great.
Yeah.
But we'd love to trade up for AJ if the price isn't too bad.
Yeah. Are you still feeling like that, or you think that's in the rearview mirror at this point?
I feel the same way. I think I wouldn't give up 3 first-round picks, maybe 2 future first-round picks.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't give up Ace Bailey. And I think that's where I draw the line.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I don't know where all this conversation online came from. Like, in what world would we trade multiple picks and a top 5 guy for one spot in the draft? It's just so crazy to me. Like,
yeah.
And some of these trades are just getting real wild. Like, I saw like 3 future firsts and Ace, and I'm like, that's just insane.
That's way too much.
That's like, you're gonna have to, like, we're probably not even gonna give you our 2nd pick if you want 3 future firsts. Like,
I almost wonder, would you trade Lauri Markkanen for like Anthony Davis, and we release Anthony Davis?
I consider it.
If you'd move up.
I still think the Jazz...
That'd basically be just giving up Lauri Markkanen for one spot in the draft, though. That's kind of a lot to ask.
I think that's my biggest question. I know we've talked a little about it, but like my biggest question is, whatever guy we draft, I want him to have the space to like shine. Mm-hmm. Like I want, if, for instance, if we got AJ, we've seen AJ play firsthand. He needs the ball in his hands, and he needs space on the floor. And, like, if we got Jaren Jackson, Lowry, Walker, and Keontae, I just get really worried about, like, how clogged up things are going to be. And so, I don't know.
I definitely agree with you for the long term. But I also see, like, we're watching the finals. We'll talk about that later. But
yeah.
Dylan Harper is coming off the bench in the finals, which some people would say that's clogged up, right? But he seems to be doing pretty good. I'm sure in the next couple of years, they're going to need to trade one of those guards so that Dylan Harper can shine. But that's maybe for the first couple of years.
I just don't know if we want them to wait like 3 years. You know what I mean? Like look at Cooper Flagg this year. He's just had like, of course he's had bad games, but it's like he's dropping 50 points and like it's in one season it's become his franchise. It's like, I don't know. I think you're right. I would love for one of these guys to just be our cornerstone and so we can build, but
we could also benefit
easy.
a lot from having AJ or Darren on like a rookie deal.
That's true, yeah.
And
that's true.
Lowry's on like a, what is it, $40 to $50 million a year deal.
Yeah, it's expensive.
So it's interesting.
Yeah.
I could see some conversations maybe happen with people wanting to trade Lowry to get AJ, but
yeah, totally.
You know it's only one spot in the draft. You're still gonna get Darren Peterson. I think giving up Lowry might be a little too high of a price for me, but
yeah,
I don't know.
The interesting thing about Lowry is I feel like a lot of people want Lowry, but nobody actually wants to give anything of value for him.
Well,
like
and
the Warriors.
You have to give a big contract to us, right?
Yeah.
So you had to give us somebody.
Yeah. I bet the Warriors are punching air right now that they didn't send Pajemski to us for Lowry.
Yeah, they would have loved to have him.
Yep.
Now they got Al Horford, who's good, but
yeah,
he's old.
Absolutely. That being said, though, we decided, just like last year, we're going to come up with our Tuned In Jazz mock draft. We will, well, specifically the lottery. We won't bore you with the whole first round because...
Yeah, we honestly, I don't even think we've really studied past the lottery that much. Maybe you have more than I have, but
yeah.
I feel like we know the lottery guys pretty well.
Yeah, and I feel like after the lottery, it just gets very, it could be anybody. You can see guys who are projected in the second round that teams really liked at the 22nd pick or something, and so it just gets harder and harder to predict as you go down the first round. So
yeah, and honestly, because the Jazz have had such a high pick, I probably have only really heard about the top 10 guys mostly.
Yeah.
Even once we get to that 10 to 14 range, I haven't really studied them that hard,
Yeah.
But I do think that this draft has a lot of really good college players that have shown that they're great in college.
Yeah.
And it'll just be a matter of time before they get to the NBA and they have their shot.
Yeah.
And also, I've seen a decent amount of Big 12 players in here, too.
Yeah, Big 12 is where it's at.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent there.
Yeah. And I mean, we'll do ours without trades, I think. I don't know, it's hard to predict trades, but do you think there will be any trades in the lottery this year? Do you predict any?
I could see it.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jazz were part of the trade last year to get Walter Clayton.
That's true.
And there was a trade to get
Derek Queen.
Yeah. That... Crazy enough, that
horrible
was a pretty
trade.
bad trade.
Yeah, horrible.
I don't know what pick they ended up getting, the Hawks, but they're pretty high.
That is a pretty high pick. And Derek Queen was good this year, probably one of the better rookies, but I don't know if that was that worth it. So
yeah. But I could definitely see a couple of trades. Teams are gonna get greedy and want their players that
absolutely
they feel best about.
All right, well, I think the consensus I'm seeing a lot of places is AJ at number 1. What are you feeling? You think Wizards go AJ? What do you feel best?
I have a feeling we're not going to vary too much from what we've said before.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is I use the no ceilings draft big board.
Yeah.
And AJ's number 3 on this after Darren and Cam Boozer.
Interesting.
I still think, though, AJ will probably go number 1. I don't know if he'll go to the Wizards or the Jazz or somebody else, but I do think he's going to go number 1.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I don't know. It's either... I really do feel like if they were to vary, it would be Darren Peterson. But other than that, there's not really... I don't really believe the narrative that Cam Boozer's at play at 1 or Caleb Wilson. So I think we go AJ if you're down for that.
Let's do AJ.
Yeah. What a beast.
BYU Cougar.
All right, takes us to the Utah Jazz.
What we've all been waiting for.
Interestingly enough, according to Fanspo, our biggest need is point guards, which I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like we got a pretty good rotation with Isaiah Collier and Keontae, but anyways, that's just my opinion.
And honestly, it's combo guards anyways, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So you could have Keontae and anybody else as long as they're a guard, I feel like I'm fine.
Yeah, that's true. I'm still feeling pretty good about Darren. I mean, I do think Cam Boozer obviously brings an interesting, dad played for the organization and is now part of the organization. Seems like it's kind of a legacy guy, so that would be definitely a guy to consider, but I think I would probably go Darren Peterson here, but what do you think?
I'm also leaning towards Darren Peterson, but I want to talk about the injury stuff. Anything that concerns you from like all the cramping and apparently too much creatine is what he's saying it was at Kansas that kept him out of games.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know a lot of Jazz fans hear those news stories and they're like, wow, I don't want a guy that's not going to play. So there's a little bit of risk there. I don't know how drastic it is, but just speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really buy the whole creatine thing, but, I don't know. I've just heard some things on different podcasts talking about how the explanation doesn't really make a lot of sense. But, I mean, to be fair, he doesn't really have to explain it, I guess. If it's cramps, it's cramps. But I think it's worth taking the risk, I think, if you're the Jazz at least. But I don't know. What are you feeling about that?
I don't know. Let me read. There's like a quote he has from this ESPN article. Just interesting. Peterson, who's ranked number 2 in the prospect, said his issues started last year at the scary episode after Kansas coach week-long boot camp sent him to the hospital in an ambulance. First his legs started cramping, then stomach, back, arms, hands, eventually whole body was cramping. Made it to the training room, just called 911. They got an IV, so he went to the hospital. Pretty insane as like the first start of camp, right? And then they're able to help him out, and then later throughout the season, it kind of just kept going. And he's a shy guy too. He's pretty introverted. We don't know how that will work with Will Hardy's a very vocal coach. Yeah. We need to communicate the plays and everything like that. So I don't know. There could be a concern there with his personality.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know. I do think those are some really valid concerns, but the flip side that I think both of us have seen is he's a fantastic basketball player in the sense he doesn't miss many shots from 3. He's been compared to like Devin Booker in the way that he can score.
Yeah, it's a really smooth shot.
Yeah, probably the best offensive player in the draft.
Oh, absolutely.
He could get a little better at passing, but I'm sure as pretty much every good scorer does, is they draw double teams, then they learn how to pass over time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that for us, those pros outweigh the cons, but I do think the cons are serious, that he does have that personality, kind of introverted. He has had all that injury history.
Yeah. I think if AJ does end up going first, Darren Peterson's the guy where there's always the debate, do you take the best player, do you take the best fit? I think if AJ goes first, then Darren Peterson is both the best fit and the best player available. He would just, if we wanted to have him start immediately, he would fit really nicely in the starting lineup. Or even if he came off the bench, there's just like a clear rotation of guys you could. So I just think he would be a really good fit. So yeah. I say we go DP.
I'm going to go DP, but I also want to bring up, there's been Greg Oden picked before Kevin Durant.
Yep.
There's been Brandon Roy, who is amazing, got hurt.
Yep.
You don't want one of those guys for the long term, right?
That's true.
But that being said, I think we'll pick Darren Peterson, but we'll keep in mind there is that risk, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But
yep. Takes us to the Memphis Grizzlies, who are picking 3rd.
They need a lot of help now after trading Jaren to us.
They do. I mean, I think... I'm curious on your thoughts on this. I think that there's a clear top 4. I think we talked a little about this. So in my mind, this is a pick between Boozer and Wilson. But do you think that there's more open to them, or are you kind of in the same boat?
I do think it's Boozer and Wilson, unless they could trade down possibly if another team wants Boozer.
Yeah, that's true.
So I could see that, but I do think no matter who's picking, I think it's going to be one of those two guys at 3 and 4.
Wilson also, injuries is a question. I think he tore his MCL, it was.
Yeah,
ended his season a couple months ago, which he's young, so it'll heal, but it's like, those are questions you have when they're that young. Getting those types of injuries, obviously, it's something you want to make sure heals correctly. So that's a question for sure.
I think we're going to go with Cam Boozer.
I think so
personally.
Too, yeah. I think so.
He's a winner. He's done it his whole college career. And I think he's one of those prospects that, is just going to be good. He can rebound he's the best rebounder in the draft. One of the best passers in the draft, too.
Super efficient scorer, 55%.
Really good three-point shooter, yeah.
Yep.
So let's take him.
Yeah, and I think Memphis is... I think they're going to... They've already kind of shot themselves into a rebuild, but I think Cam Boozer's a guy you could centerpiece around and just kind of get some pieces around him. So I think that would be a good pick for them.
Definitely.
The Chicago Bulls...
I think this Bulls would be thrilled to have Caleb Wilson.
Absolutely.
I think that most Bulls fans kind of see it coming.
Yeah, their best prospect right now is Matas Buzelis. I think he would play really well next to Caleb Wilson. Josh Giddey's
been better.
Josh Giddey, yep.
They have Colin Sexton now. I forgot about that.
And so I think you could fit Caleb Wilson right in there and even give him some opportunity to get a big role in their offense. So I like Caleb Wilson at the pick.
Let's do it.
All right, we've gone pretty chalk so far. That's okay, though.
That's fine with me.
Okay, the Clippers. This is an interesting one.
Should have been Indiana's pick, but they only had it protected top 4.
Yeah. I think this is an interesting one because they've got Darius Garland, pretty clear-cut point guard. Obviously, they got Kawhi, so that I don't know if they would really need guys like Acuff or Flemings, although they're really great prospects.
Wagler is kind of the guy I've seen a lot go here because he's a little longer. He can play shooting guard next to Darius Garland a little better.
Yeah, I really like Braden Burries. That would be a reach because he's projected a little later in the lottery, but he would be one I think they should consider.
And then Ade Mara.
Yeah,
I've seen him go here quite a bit.
They do need some size.
They just traded Zubac, so I think that could be somebody.
Even a guy like Yaxel Landeborg, if you wanted to go.
Yeah, that's true.
He's kind of a big that plays a little stretch, so I'd probably go Keaton Wagler though.
Let's do it.
All right,
Brooklyn.
The Nets.
Who are we going to pair with? Yegor Demon.
This is an interesting. I think it was last year they picked 4 point guards in the first round, I think.
Yeah, this year they're going to pick 5 centers. I don't know.
Yeah,
they don't have that many picks.
I guess Yegor is kind of a point guard. Depends on how they feel about him in the future. I'm not really a big Acuff guy, but I do think he's really talented. Nate Ement, of course, might be an interesting pick. He's been talked about.
He's a freshman forward.
This guy, Karima Lopez from New Zealand, I've heard good things about. Seen some of his highlights.
I think they could go a little smaller with Acuff because, Yegor Demon is 6'9".
It's true.
So you could put Acuff on a smaller guy on defense.
Yeah.
Plus, Acuff, he's a really good scorer in this draft. He's kind of given me Allen Iverson vibes in the way that he plays.
Yeah, little Derrick Rose sometimes too.
And the Nets need a star, and I think he could be.
That's true.
I could see him getting to an all-star level.
Yeah.
Next to Yegor and whoever else they keep building with.
Well, and I think the biggest criticism I've seen is that he's just kind of an undersized guy. But I mean, I don't know. It makes me wonder if teams will start rethinking that based off how the finals are going.
Yeah,
Jalen Brunson
was a second round or late first round pick.
And he's a small guard that gets criticized for that, but he's leading his team to championship. Well, I guess we'll talk about that a little later. But I'm down to go Acuff if that's it.
Yeah, let's do it. Such a good player. One of favorite guys to watch in March Madness.
Sacramento. I'm sure that they really wanted Acuff instead of.
Yeah.
Been hearing, I don't know. This is a tough one. I don't know really what direction Sacramento's going in right now is the question, I think.
They probably just need best player available at this point because you've got DeRozan and Levine who are there, but you don't really want them because they're old. They're kind of just contracts sitting on the books right now.
Sabonis could play with almost anybody.
Sabonis was your guy, but now that you're at the bottom of the league, you wonder, you're going to trade Sabonis or you're going to keep him? You don't really know.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think they only have 1 year left on Zach LaVine. They're probably going to move on from him pretty soon. Could probably use a young guard
in
this team.
I could see them moving on from Sabonis too if they really want to rebuild eventually. 2 years. I'd probably go Flemings or maybe like Ament. I've heard good things about Mikael Brown Jr. as well. Just tons of freshmen in this class that are with lots of questions, but these guys are really skilled. So,
yeah, I'm probably between Burries and Flemings. I'd probably lean slightly towards Flemings.
All right.
Pick number 8.
Atlanta.
This is the Derek Queen pick.
Yeah, they just traded Trae Young. I think there's probably a need at point guard.
They had honestly a great year with C.J. McCollum.
That's true.
Jonathan Kuminga, Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels.
Yeah.
Crazy year. Nickeil Alexander-Walker's broken out at shooting guard.
Yeah, I kind of like... Nate Ament's obviously, I think, probably the best available at this point, but I think Mikael Brown Jr. is a 6'5" point guard, really speedy guy.
What's interesting on the no ceilings one, Nate Ament is number 18.
Oh, really? He's 8 on ESPN.
That's crazy. Yeah, so I don't even know like where people see him because that's a big swing. I really like Yaxel Lundenberg too.
Yeah.
I know he's a little older, but like this Hawks team to me is just built on like long defenders.
That's true.
And I think Yaxel Lundenberg would fit so well here. But they already have a lot of forwards with Jalen Johnson, Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah.
Dyson Daniels plays like a forward sometimes.
That's true.
So I don't know. They could also go for a guard too. Because CJ McCollum's not going to be able to do this forever.
No. You could even go a guy like Ade Mara if you really wanted to just get some size.
True.
Rim protection.
Who's their real center right now? I don't even really know. They don't have Capella anymore.
Okongwu or whatever his name is.
Okongwu. He's been pretty good.
You even look at guys like Chris Sanak looking down the list a little bit. Really just gritty. Like 4'5", 6'11". One of those Houston guys that is just going to play, rough basketball, but maybe that's what they need. Richie Saunders. Just kidding. I don't know. This is a tough one. What are you feeling? It's a tough one.
I think they're so good on defense already. I think they need a little more offense. And so I'm between Burries and Mikael Brown just because I think they could use a guard that can score. I honestly haven't watched Mikael Brown that much, so I'm kind of leaning on you for that. But from what I've seen from Braden Burries, he's a good scorer, and I think he could help. So either him or Mikael. I don't know. What do you think of Mikael Brown here?
I like Mikael Brown here. I think he would fit. Even if he was coming off the bench, having a guy like CJ McCollum, like really good vet who could like put his arm around him. I guess he could do that to either of those guys, but I'd probably go Mikael Brown.
Let's do it. I'm leaning on you for that one. I'll have to watch some of his highlights later on, but seems like a good player.
Right. Dallas, who's going to play next to the Cooper flag? Probably Kyrie coming back next year.
Aging Clay,
there,
Chris Middleton. Right. Although I think Chris Middleton's a free agent.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Even got guys like Derek Lively, who I think are still big pieces for them. This is tough. I think Braden Burries might be an interesting fit there.
Yeah.
I do like this Kareem Lopez guy. We're kind of watching his highlights as we're doing this. He seems like a really physical guy with some size, but international guy.
Because they could still use another forward next to Cooper.
That's true. Yaxel, I think, could fit on any team, but he'd probably be more of like a win now. Like he's probably more NBA ready for a team that's ready to compete now. Oh, this is a tough one.
I think the safest pick is probably Braden Burries.
I like that. Let's go Braden Burries.
Yeah, let's do it. You get shooting. That's what you need around Cooper
49% from the field. Pretty efficient. I like that. Bucks. I think big questions with the Bucks. What are they doing? Are they going complete rebuild? Is Giannis actually getting traded? I think that definitely affects who they pick here, probably. But
they got Miles Turner and Giannis, and that's pretty much. Bobby Portis is a good piece, but they need a lot of help.
I guess they got Kyle Kuzma, but that's not really they really could have used the point guard, so it would be bad news for them if all the point guards were off the board like we predicted so far. But
yeah, we took them all.
Looking down the list.
I mean, we kept talking about Nate Ament. This could be somewhere where he goes. Koa Pete, also really good player from Arizona. We've seen him play a lot.
On ESPN, they got him at 22, but Bennett Sturts, I really love Bennett Sturts.
Yeah, he's at 15 on this one. So
that'd probably be a jump to go to 10, but I really like Bennett Sturts. Nate Ament would be a great pick. Lopez. I don't know much about this Haynes Steinbeck guy, but I've heard really good things about him from Washington. LeBaron Philon, I've seen him play.
It's hard to say. I think I'm between Nate Ament and Koa Pete and Yaxel Lindenberg. I don't know. I'm thinking forward next to Giannis. But
yeah,
they could use every position, right? So I'm not against anyone going here. I think it's just whoever the Bucks think is the best available.
Yeah, I like Nate Ament here. Honestly, that would be my pick.
Let's do it.
I just think, especially the Bucks, they probably want to go as young as they can.
It's a chance they trade Giannis too, and they might need somebody like Nate Ament.
Warriors, I think they're keeping Steve Kerr. So that tells me I think that they at least think their championship window is still open. It's not, but
I think we've talked about it a second ago. Yaxel Lindenberg.
I like that pick there.
He's a win now player. Just won a championship at Michigan.
Yeah,
I think that's a match made in heaven. If
honestly, I was thinking Yaxel to either at this pick or the next one because I think he's a guy that could you could plug into a team that's ready to or trying to compete like the Thunder or Warriors. So I like him at this pick. I think
his teammate Ade Mara too.
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors have never had a big man. No. Maybe they could finally get one.
That's true.
But I think Yaxel's my guy. Though.
I like Yaxel.
I think he's a warrior in the way he plays already.
A winner already too. Kind of a Walter Clayton type of guy from last year. All right, Oklahoma City.
Why do they have to have this pick?
Yeah, it's tough.
They don't need it.
Honestly, I'm looking at this Kareem Lopez guy. I've talked about him a couple times. Got some size, 6'9", small forward, power forward. International guy. Seems like the Thunder really like
they do love
their international guys. I don't know if they really need a Daymar with Chet. I mean, Chet played pretty bad this year, so maybe they do.
Isaiah Hartenstein's only got 1 year left.
That's true.
So they could put Mara in there, and eventually he'll take Isaiah Hartenstein.
You could get Chris Sanak, would give you some size as well. Jaden Quintance. Yeah. Kobe Pete, obviously, we've talked about him a couple times. He might be an interesting pick. I wonder how young the Thunder would want to go, though. Like, how, I guess they've got a future.
They're trying to win now, too, right? I like Ade Mara, honestly.
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't know how far he'll fall, but if he falls this far, I'd be surprised.
14th pick, I think we got one or two more in our... Or 13th pick, one or two more in our mock draft. Miami.
It's an interesting team.
Yeah, very interesting. You got, obviously, Bam, I think one of their centerpiece, in my opinion.
Norman Powell's a free agent.
Yeah, Tyler Hero's still... a good piece. Was it this year he was an all-star? Wasn't he an all-star this year?
It's been a couple years. I think Powell was an all-star this year, actually.
That's right. Bam had his Kobe game this year. This is a tough one. I think another thing to factor in here is the kind of the Heat culture thing.
Yeah.
What kind of guy would fit in that type of system? Chris Sanak's kind of giving me that just because I think Houston's pretty similar to Heat culture vibes, but
yeah, definitely.
It's looking down the list here.
Honestly, I'm thinking Chris Sanak is good. I like when you said that.
Yeah.
I also think Cameron Carr from Baylor.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That could be a good pick because their guards are leaving, and he could be good.
Oh, I like that pick actually.
And then I also like Kareem Lopez too. I think they've had international.
Yeah.
Any of those three I'd be good with, honestly.
I like Cameron Carr.
Should we do Cameron Carr?
Yeah.
He seems like he could be a Heat culture guy.
Absolutely.
If I remember right, wasn't he the one that went crazy at BYU when they played Baylor?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great player.
14, Charlotte. Charlotte took a big jump this year. It'll be interesting to see what kind of piece they need.
They were sad to be in the lottery. They should have made it to the playoffs, but they just couldn't do it.
I'm trying to think their biggest. I still think Brandon Miller's a really great piece. Obviously, Knipples established himself.
LaMelo,
yeah, I'm not a huge LaMelo guy, but he's obviously their guy.
Kobe White was really good in the playoffs, but he's a free agent.
Yeah. Sounds to me like they need some size. They got this Haynes Steinbeck guy, who, let me just look at his stats. 57% from the field, 18 points a game, 11 rebounds. He'd be an interesting piece there if they wanted some size. Obviously, Chris Sinak's still on the board. Braylon Mullins, if you wanted to put another dog next to Knippel. Christian Anderson, we haven't talked that much about. It's tough.
What about Morez Johnson? Have you really heard much about him? Guy from Michigan, power forward kind of guy. I think he could be
62% from the field. He's very efficient. 13 points a game, 7
great
rebounds.
Rebounder, efficient scorer in the paint, dominates boards, blocks shots.
Yeah,
kind of a guy. I think that's something they could use.
Let's do it. I like that one.
Okay. That is our lottery.
Yep.
So maybe we could just review.
Yeah.
So we got AJ number 1, Darren Peterson, Cameron Booz, and Caleb Wilson, just like most mock drafts we've seen. Kind of stuck to that. We got Keaton Wagler, Darius Acuff, Kingston Flemings. I think all 3 of those guys could go at 5 to 10. Then we got at 8, Michael Brown, then Braden Burries, then Nate Ament. And then we got Yaxel Lundenburg, Ade Mara, Michigan boys. And then to finish out the lottery, we got Cameron Carr and Morez Johnson from Michigan as well.
Yeah, looks like it's pretty solid.
Pretty good. Honestly, I could see a lot of differences from 5 to 14. I just think those top 4 we feel pretty good about, but then after that, we never really know.
I feel pretty good about the guys that we got 1 through 10. I think those will be the 10 guys that get drafted. Could be a different order.
I could see Nate Ament going lower, but
yeah, maybe I could also see him going higher
freshman.
too.
People want freshmen.
Yeah, he also had a really good season. So it's just kind of and then it's hard to know how people value guys like Yaxel Landeborg. I know some teams will probably pass up on him because of his age, but other teams might value that. So
I think once you get to the 11th pick with the Warriors, all the teams after that are kind of more wanting to win now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. We picked only freshmen top 10.
That's so crazy.
But then once we got to pick 11, we didn't pick a single freshman.
Yeah. Senior, junior, sophomore, yeah.
Yeah, so I do think that the freshmen are going to be hot commodities for
absolutely
at least the top 10 picks.
It's crazy that those guys are just so young too. I know they're freshmen obviously, but they're all barely 19 years old. AJ, I think, just turned 19. So
yeah,
it's just crazy.
It was like that last year too. Cooper Flagg reclassified, so he was 18.
Yeah.
Ace Bailey was pretty young too, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of how it is, I guess.
Yeah.
It's crazy that these guys are 19 years old and they're already 7 foot tall.
Yeah, that's so wild.
I guess we just didn't get those genes.
No. I don't know what I was doing at 19, but not that.
Right. Any surprises in this lottery for you? Or did it kind of... Is that how you would have done it if you were doing it yourself?
Yeah, I think after maybe 7 or 8, there probably would have been some guys I might have done differently, but I think that's what you start getting later in the draft. Teams just like guys, and it has more to do with vibes than it does clear-cut stats and highlights,
It's like when the draft where the Grizzlies picked Zach Edey, and we didn't think that would ever happen.
Yeah.
Or Ron Holland to the Pistons.
Or even Hansen Yangs last year. It was supposed to be a second-round pick, and all of a sudden, what was he, 15 or 16? It was really high or something.
He was lottery, yeah.
Yeah, it was whoa. Nobody was even expecting that.
So there's going to be something like that every year, I bet.
Oh, absolutely. Richie Saunders might go top 5. You never know.
Hey.
I would respect the pick, too.
Maybe the Jazz... I'm just kidding.
What do you think? I guess while we're there, though, you think Richie does get drafted? You think he goes undrafted? What do you feel?
I haven't really looked at a lot of mock drafts with Richie. I think teams would love to have him.
I think so too.
If he's not drafted, he's getting signed right away. I think he's a winner in the sense he can defend and shoot threes, and that's what every NBA team wants.
Yeah.
So I think there's no way he doesn't end up on a team. I just don't know if he'll. I don't know if he'll get drafted in the first round, but second round for sure.
Yeah. I kind of agree. I kind of think he probably goes undrafted in my opinion, but I think before his injury he was a second round pick, like mid second round pick. I think the injury hurts a lot. Obviously, teams didn't get to see him work out at the combine. He's also not going to get to play in summer league, which I think is really unfortunate for him because that's kind of where guys like him make a name for themselves and prove that they belong on a roster. But I mean, I don't know how you could watch him play at BYU and not just see an absolute dog.
Yep.
Like a guy that's going to give you energy.
And an NBA player in the way
Absolutely.
he plays.
Shoots the cover off the ball from three, can get to the rim, just really gritty on defense. Like any team could use a guy like that. The Jazz better go get him is all I know if he goes undrafted. So.
Well, and you got Kevin Young's got NBA connections too.
Yep,
so I think there's no way that NBA teams aren't going to call Kevin Young and ask about Richie.
Absolutely.
And he's only going to have good things to say.
Absolutely.
And another thing, there's so many players going back to college. It's like a record low for like the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
Just based on the fact that everyone went back to college, he might get drafted in the second round.
That's true, yeah.
You know, because all the players that maybe would have got drafted before him aren't going.
Mm-hmm.
So there's also that.
That's true.
But a good draft. I hope we get AJ, man. I don't want to give up that much, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be interesting. We got 3 weeks till the draft, and if what Austin Ainge is telling is the truth, sounds like that there's some really philosophical conversations being had about this, which I think is good. I think we need everybody on board with whatever pick we have. Will Hardy, Austin Ainge, Danny Ainge, Justin Zanuck. We know all those guys to be all in on whatever guy we get. So I love that they're taking it seriously.
Well, we could talk a little bit about the NBA Finals.
Yeah, my goodness.
It's been a couple weeks since we recorded, so we could talk about the Conference Finals a little bit,
I feel like we didn't even get to a chance to... I love to start in the East. Did you think that Cleveland was going to get swept like that?
No.
Yeah.
I was disappointed. I was hoping Donovan Mitchell could maybe pull something off, but
yeah,
Knicks just dominated. It wasn't even close, it felt like. Like, there was game one, right, where it was like the Cavs blew that huge lead. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
They should have won that game, but then ever since then, it just felt like the Knicks had
fell
control.
Apart. Yeah. And honestly, I just I don't know. I love Donovan Mitchell, love James Harden, but I feel like it's just yet another evidence of can these guys be number one on a winning team? And I just think that, especially James Harden, that was a really embarrassing performance. Literally, just especially game 3 and 4, just gave up on most plays down the stretch.
Yep.
Donovan Mitchell also wasn't in overtime. One of those games just wasn't touching the ball, and it's these guys just disappear in big moments. And
this is probably the best chance they're gonna have to make the finals.
Yep.
For years.
Yep.
This Knicks team is great. Don't get me wrong, but they're no Celtics.
Yeah.
You know, they're no of the last couple of years. Honestly, the Pacers were just as they might have been a little better last year. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
This was their year, and they just, I think I agree. They just didn't have what it takes.
Yeah.
And then to go into the West, wow,
that
was so exciting.
What a series! That logo shot from Wemby, and what was that? Game 2, I think. Game 3.
Oh man,
just unreal. Wemby,
and that really swung the series too.
Absolutely. Yeah, they lost that game. The series would have been really hard to come back.
And there was also other games where it was the last minute mattered more than anything.
Absolutely.
And it just kind of worked out in San Antonio's way. Dylan Harper's been so good for them.
Yep. That's true.
Stephon Castle's been really good too.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And I thought it just showed how important De'Aaron Fox was too. I think early he was injured. and they were struggling a little with, especially defensively, but also just in general being so young, turning the ball over a ton. And then when De'Aaron Fox came back, felt like it switched, and they were really able to calm down and like just play good basketball. I was a little surprised. I thought Thunder had it, but I love seeing some parity in the finals, seeing different teams there every year. I think is good for the game. So.
Mm-hmm. And then talking about the first 2 NBA Finals games.
My word.
2 road wins for the Knicks. Pretty crazy. And not to mention, I don't know if you watched Game 2 last night.
Yeah,
One point game. The Knicks have kind of controlled most of the time in the series. Like Game 1, they seemed to hold on for most of the game with the lead, and then at the end, Jalen Brunson kind of closed it out.
Yep. And
then Game 2, they had a pretty good lead, but then the Spurs really made it interesting at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think this series is over already?
I mean, I think I don't know. I really don't think that the Knicks will sweep, but I do think this is a tough one to dig out of, like especially going back to New York. Those fans in New York are. I heard something the other day that there was like a lady that got her hair lit on fire the other day after Game 1.
Oh wow!
And like, I pray for NYPD if the Knicks win this, because oh my gosh, they're gonna burn that city to the ground.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be tough to. They've lost home court advantage pretty significantly. Wemby seems like he's just kind of in shock. He's not really there.
Well, and do you remember? I was watching the highlights of Game 2 last night.
Mm-hmm.
They were tied, and Wemby throws the ball to Stephon Castle, and he's not looking.
Yep.
Turned it over, and that really lost them the game.
They would have won the game. Yeah, they were going down.
They had the ball. They were going down with like 15 seconds left.
Yep.
Wemby just made a bad play, and honestly, maybe Stephon Castle should have looked back, maybe not. But those big moments, I don't think LeBron would have done that.
Nope.
So I think Wemby's still learning what it takes in those moments.
Yeah.
Whereas Jalen Brunson, he's lived in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy you can trust.
Absolutely. I think there was a point in last night's game 2, where they came out of it was in the fourth quarter, and Jalen Brunson was out of the game, and so was Kat and OG and one of their other starters. They had all bench guys in, and they just held the lead, and they even expanded the lead. And I was like, bench play really matters in these big games. And the fact that you can keep Kat and Brunson off the floor for a few minutes, give them a rest, or even in foul trouble, like keep them out for a few minutes is just pretty huge. And
well, that might be the difference between this Knicks team and the last couple years.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't know, maybe Mike Brown was the right hire. Tom Thibodeau may not have done that.
Tom Thibodeau's style was just play every minute you can of every guy, I feel like. Which was good. I mean, he played gritty teams.
It got him very far.
Yeah, but your guys get pretty tired throughout the season if you do that all year.
Well, and they've had really good play from guys like Landry Shamet. I don't know if Jordan Clarkson's really been out there that much, but if they gave him the chance, I'm sure he'd be good.
Yep.
Who else have they had? Oh, Miles McBride has been pretty good for them, hitting shots. They have a good bench, more than they have in the past.
It's true.
Mitchell Robinson came back to play.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's going to be hard for the Spurs. I don't think this series is over. I think the Spurs are going to come into Madison Square Garden and put on a show.
I can see it.
Might be a hot take, but I think that this series is far from over.
You think they could win 2, though? They're going to have to, I think.
I think they could win 2.
Win the next 2 in MSG?
Yeah, I think the Spurs could win the next 2 games.
Possibly, yeah.
It's going to be hard, but I do think you've got the best player in the series in Wemby.
That's true.
And if you take care of the ball and play better defense, I think you'll be able to take these next 2 games.
Interestingly enough, our bracket challenge we filled out, you're beating me currently.
Really? I thought you had the better bracket.
3,600 to 3,200, but I did pick the Knicks to win on my bracket, so I'm sure I'll jump you. Who did you had?
I had Knicks, Nuggets, and then I had the Nuggets.
Right.
So you must have picked the Thunder and didn't get that point either.
Yeah, I did. So that's kind of... Oh, and I picked Denver to beat San Antonio in the second round, so that probably didn't help either.
Yeah, I also picked the Cavs to beat the Pistons. That helped me out a little bit.
Oh, yeah, me too.
So,
yeah, and I had... Yeah. So...
It'll be interesting. I do think the Knicks are the favorite, but I just think don't count out Wemby, don't count out the Spurs. I think they're ready for a big game.
Yeah, I totally agree. The all defensive teams, all NBA teams came out. Where did they go? I just had it pulled up. Here we go. All NBA teams, I'll just read them off. I can't remember. We did make our predictions a few weeks ago. All NBA first team was Shea, Jokic, Wemby, Luka, and Cade. I feel like that was ours. I feel like if I remember right.
Yeah, I think you might have had either Jaylen Brown or somebody in the second team instead of Cade.
That might have been right, yeah.
But I think we pretty much had that.
Those first four we definitely was just pretty obvious.
Right.
Second team, Jaylen Brown, Kawhi, KD, Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell. Kind of surprised KD's there, but also not. I guess he's KD, but...
I think I had KD as well. He just had a good statistical season.
That's fair, yeah.
And the Rockets were pretty good in the standings, so...
Yeah. Third team, Tyrese Maxey, Jamal Murray, Jalen Johnson, Jalen Duren, Chet Holmgren. I think we both had Jalen Johnson, if I remember right.
Yeah, and I think we both had Maxey somewhere.
Yeah.
Jalen Duren, I remember having Jalen Duren.
One of us had Chet, I can't remember.
I think you had Chet, I had Jalen Duren.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray, I don't think either of us had.
Yeah. I think I put LeBron James in there because I'm kind of a LeBron homer, but kind of weird that we live in a world now where LeBron's not an All-NBA guy.
I know, I thought he would have still maybe made it.
But I could see why. It's, we're at the end, so.
So I don't know. I think that there was only like maybe one or two names that we had different.
Yeah.
And then maybe a different order of what team, but pretty close. Proud of our predictions, actually. We did pretty good. And then defensive team, I don't think we predicted that.
I don't think we did.
See if we can pull those up.
I don't know. So we got, obviously, Wemby and Chet. Rudy Gobert made his way in there again. Asar Thompson, I think that's no surprise. Derek White, I'm a little surprised by that, but I guess that's not a bad pick. Second team is Bam, Scotty Barnes, Kaysen Wallace, Dyson Daniels, and OG. I probably honestly would have switched OG with Derek White, but I don't hate it.
Yeah, they're all guys that we'd expect.
Yeah.
I think I did hope Scotty Barnes made all NBA, but at least he made all defensive. We'll take that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm glad Rudy Gobert's still getting his flowers.
Yeah, if Wemby was out of the league, he could have won Defensive Player of the Year again.
Yeah.
So him or Chet are right up there with Wemby if Wemby wasn't there.
Absolutely. Well, it takes us to some local sports. The Cougs and Utes might be shifting into the driver's seat in the Big 12 of football this year. Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby ruled ineligible to play.
I was happy about that.
Yeah, they need to hold to that. I think the gambling thing is one thing that it can't change, or else the integrity of the game pretty quickly falls. Like, I just look at it and I'm like, I just think if you allow sports betting on your own games, because it was reported that he bet over 10,000 on Indiana football when he was playing there. Mm-hmm. And it's like, how do you then at some point you're going to have to do investigations on our guys throwing games, but then how do you prove that they're throwing games and not just playing bad? Like, it all just gets really subjective and like kind of like dirty and you know.
I think the NBA set a really good example for this with Jonte Porter.
Yeah.
They just said, this is a strict penalty. That's it.
Yep.
And so I think it's good that they didn't fold.
Yep. And they took really seriously the Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier situations. Yeah. I think that was more than just gambling, probably some mafia things.
We don't know all the details. We just know the FBI was involved.
Yeah. And honestly, I think the sad thing, I'm just really not a fan of sports betting. I kind of hate how it's taken over the sports that we love. And I think that we're going to be seeing a lot more of this as the leagues like continue to take more gambling money. And then I also think it's kind of unfair for them to ask their players not to gamble when the league's going to take gambling money, but I think that they should probably stop doing that, but whatever. It's kind of interesting. Sorsby.
But do you think now Sorsby's out, Texas Tech, they don't really have a quarterback they trust.
Yeah, I got Will Hammond, but he's coming off an ACL.
Yeah, they could try. I don't know how they would even get another quarterback. I've heard rumors that they could get a guy like Jake Retzlaff where he's
just
decommitting and committing or something.
Yeah.
But they may not have a quarterback, right? So do you think, what does this mean for BYU, Utah? Do you think that means we're going to be Big 12 champions, one of us?
I think the door's open. I mean, I know that Texas Tech just loaded up on their defensive line and linebackers again like they had last year. So they're still going to really be a tough out. I don't think that they're completely out of it.
And we're basically the same team.
Yeah.
So
without Jay Hill will be the biggest question, I think.
Yeah, we'll have a little bit more experience.
Yeah.
But
I think
we'll
Morgan Scalley will do good at Utah. There's some obviously he's not proven though, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes without Kyle Whittingham. But I think that there's a pretty clear tier 1 in the Big 12 right now. BYU, Utah, and Texas Tech at least in football. I just think that those...
Oklahoma State also got their quarterback from North Texas. They could be a little better.
Yeah, new coach.
I don't know if is Arizona's quarterback going to the draft.
I think Noah Fafita's still there.
So they could be good at Arizona.
Houston looked a lot better last year, and I think they're going to be even better this year than they were last year, so I think they'll be up there.
Didn't Iowa State lose their QB and coach to Penn State?
Yeah,
so they might be down a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Iowa State's honestly been a powerhouse for the last couple of years, but they could be a little worse.
Totally. So, Big 12 will be interesting. Yeah. Good conference.
We also got the World Cup coming to the U.S.
Yep.
I haven't gotten ready for the World Cup yet. So we gotta watch this basketball first, right?
I know.
But I'm excited. The World Cup, I think the last time it happened, I was on my mission, so it's been 8 years.
Yeah, I remember watching last time Messi win his World Cup with Argentina, his last World Cup. I'm trying to find the groups. What group we're in here? Oh, okay, here we go. So we are in. Just trying to see. Okay, so Team USA is in Group D, which includes Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. Pretty interestingly, I'm not as educated on those teams, but it feels like we should be in the driver's seat there.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to look at some of these other groups.
I feel like there's usually a clear favorite and maybe a secondary favorite.
Yeah.
Most of these.
It's true. We start against Paraguay on the 12th, so what is that, next Friday? That's our first group stage game. I think we played a friendly warm-up game against somebody just the other day. Let's see, where does Team USA plays in LA on Friday?
Hey, we got home field advantage too.
That's right.
Throughout this World Cup, so maybe we'll go a little further than we have.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
But I guess if you have a secondary team, I don't know if you even care about that. Do you have any ties to any country other than the U.S.?
I don't think so. I really like watching Messi. I don't know. I can't remember if he said he was going to play. I like watching Messi play. It's always kind of fun. I like watching just legends. I think Mbappe is really great. What is he, France, I think?
Yeah, France.
So I'll probably be rooting for them. Yeah.
Ronaldo, Portugal.
Yeah, that's right. Portugal. So, I'll kind of just I'm going all in for Team USA. Christian Pulisic is about to win his this year, so tough road ahead, though.
I think I always love to root for these small countries that honestly kind of like Cinderella stories, right? So I think there was one year Trinidad and Tobago went pretty far, or just Senegal, or I don't know, these small countries that actually win a couple games. I like watching that.
Maybe Uzbekistan will go far this year.
Yeah, you never know. I've never seen them in there. So
Cote d'Ivoire. Maybe
so I always root for the underdog, and then I also do like Germany just because my grandpa my dad lived in Germany for a little while. Had some
cool.
German blood in me.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I like Germany too.
I think that's the key to, like, even when you're watching things like March Madness, you have to find reasons to root for teams, like, to get yourself, like, emotionally involved in the game, you know? Yeah. Nothing worse than watching a game where you could just care less
especially soccer too, because it's long.
Yeah,
and
totally.
You have to be patient because you're gonna miss the best part if you like space out or quit watching. So you got to be patient. You got to find an investment in it somehow. But then Stanley Cup, got all the cups going right now.
Oh my word, the Las Vegas Golden Knights. That could have been us.
I know, we were right there too. If we could have beat them, you know, we could have maybe gone this far.
Yeah, they beat the Colorado Avalanche. They pretty much swept them. I think it was like 4-1 or 4-0. Yeah, they killed them. And then Carolina, I think we both predicted they'd go. I think I predicted them winning, but you had...
I had Avalanche and beating them in the finals.
But we both had Carolina there. It was a good pick. They pretty much steamrolled their way to the Cup finals. Pretty good games so far. Have you watched either of them?
I haven't had the chance to watch. I just know they've kind of come down to the end.
Yeah, 5-4 in game 1, 3-4 in game 2. Just crazy.
Is it 1-1? Is that right?
Tied 1-1 right now.
That'll be interesting. They might play today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, going back to Vegas. Oh, no, actually, I don't know why they have... Oh, yeah, they do play today. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong date. Yeah, they go back to Vegas for this game.
Vegas taking home field advantage for themselves.
Yep. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised a little. I mean, I know the Golden Knights beat us, but I wasn't really that impressed with them, to be honest. Like, I feel like it was kind of just a gritty win that, like, wasn't very convincing. But I guess that kind of...
It's what they've done this whole time.
Yeah. I guess that's kind of insulting to us because we're also a good team, so they...
Mm-hmm.
But who do you think's going to win it now that we've gotten this far?
I think Vegas is going to win it.
You think so?
I think you're right. They may not be the most talented team in the league, but they are just clutch.
Yeah.
When they need a goal in overtime or in the last couple minutes, they just seem to find a way to do it.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that Vegas is going to win it again.
Well, I'm still holding with my boys in Carolina.
That was your pick.
I couldn't name a single one of their players, to be honest, but I'm still holding with them. I just think they've rolled all the way here too, and I don't know. It's going to be a good series. I think it's going to go 7 either way.
Well, and I see a rivalry brewing between us and Vegas. It's already been there with the Utah jersey exchange.
We're like close enough that every time we play, we travel to each other's stadiums.
Yeah, you can. I see a rivalry brewing, and that playoff series did it. But I don't know. I kind of hope they lose, but I think they're going to pull it off.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for listening to this episode of the Tuned In Utah Jazz podcast. We appreciate you listening as we did our mock draft, get ready for the Jazz's second pick, and also talking about a lot of local sports and NBA finals. Make sure to follow us on all the podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and make sure to take care.
Peace.